Hi there and welcome back to Loopy Mabel Vintage Style. If you're new here, you're very welcome. If you love a bit of sewing and a little bit of crochet with vintage style touch thrown in, then this is the perfect channel for you. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and then you'll be kept up to date with all the videos, all the tutorials that I do bring out. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much, I really do appreciate your support. Now in today's tutorial I'm going to show you what you can do, one thing you can do, or one of the many things that you can do with your scrap fabrics, namely the Suffolk Puff. How cute are they? Also known as a fabric yo-yo, but here in England I know them as a Suffolk Puff, and they're absolutely brilliant to use your fabrics up, your scrap fabrics up, take no time at all, and you can create lots of little pretty things with them. If you know me already, you know I hate throwing anything away. I like to upcycle, recycle wherever possible, and I do always have a lot of scrap fabrics. So stay tuned, I'm going to show you how to do it. Grab a coffee and I shall see you back here in a minute. So to make these Suffolk Puffs, we call them in England, or also known as a fabric yo-yo. Really simple to do. Brilliant for using up all your scrap fabrics. So don't throw all your scrap fabrics away when you can make these pretty little things, and then you can make them into lots of other things afterwards, which I'll show you towards the end of the video, what you can actually do with them. And you can either make them using the plastic yo-yo makers, which are these. These are made by Clover, but I'm sure there's other makes out there. So you can either use a plastic yo-yo maker to make them, or you can do it traditionally by hand. So I'll show you how to do them in both ways of doing it. I'll show you, because you don't have to go out and buy it. You can do it without absolutely nothing at all and do it by hand. So to start off with, I'll show you how to make them using the yo-yo makers. So as I say, they're a plastic yo-yo maker and they come in different sizes. So I've got a few sizes here, and to ascertain what size the yo-yo is going to be when you finish making it, if you turn the yo-yo over, you'll see there's like a ring there on the back or on the front. And that is the actual size that the yo-yo is going to turn out. So you're going to be needing all this amount of fabric for this size, but it will actually make this size yo-yo. So it's quite deceiving. So if you're going to be making this size, you do need quite a large amount of fabric to be cutting out. So remember that. So if you wanted to use your teeny tiny scraps of fabric, then you probably need to go for something maybe this size, which is 30mm size, and it will create with all your scraps, I mean teeny tiny scraps, that size yo-yo. How cute is that? So I'm going to use this one today just to show you how to use a yo-yo maker. Then it's up to you which size you want to go for. So all you need to do to make the yo-yo comes in two parts. So you just pop off the parts like so, and you need to cut some fabric out that's bigger than this frame. So I'm just going to use some pretty mortar fabric that I've got, and just need to place my yo-yo maker on the fabric, and you need to leave enough of an allowance, I suppose, a cutting allowance on the outside so you can tuck it in. So you put your fabric in the base there, leaving enough, and you pop the back on and pop it in, just press it in, so it clicks in, and all you do is trim around, leaving a seam allowance, because this is the bit you're going to tuck in when you're sewing it, like so. And what you're going to do is you're going to be turning it over and you're going to be working into these grooves. So you're working in those grooves, not outside the grooves, and I'll show you what I mean. So you need obviously a needle and thread, and I'm just going to be using like a quilting, quite a strong quilting thread, but you can use any thread at all. When you pop this on, you have to make sure that it lines up with these little nodules there. So when you put it in, just make sure it lines up. So there is, that lines up with that nodule, so click it in. That line should line up with that one there. So we've got them lined up. Okay, so now we've got them lined up and we're ready to go. So I'm just going to take our needle and thread and I'm just going to make a knot in the end. So we're now ready to start. So we've got everything ready, it's all lined up. So we're just going to tuck the fabric behind with our fingers. We're going to bring our needle from the back, make sure the fabric is down. Bring your needle up through one of the first holes. And then the knot will stop there. And then all you're going to do is work the other side of this cut out section and put your needle through, ensuring that you've got the fabric tucked in behind, and just pull your thread. Really simple to do. And then you work on to the next one from the back. If your cotton's at the back, you stay at the back. So you put your needle in, through, and stay from the front. So you come back down from the front, make sure your fabric's tucked in, like so. Don't be tempted to come over, because if you come over, you're going to get cotton over your yo-yo. So you bring your next needle up through the next hole, and then down from the front, making sure your fabric's tucked in, and back down. And you do this all the way around, so from the back, back down. And once you get the hang of it, you can whiz around these. So you just follow that cut out groove, come from the back, and then you go back down. Always in the groove. Don't be tempted to come up and then across the plastic bit there, because then when you try to take it out, it won't come out because it'll be stitched to the plastic. So you must always just keep your stitches in that cut out groove. So come up, staying in that groove area, back down, and just make sure that you've got your fabric tucked in behind, and again, and so back from the back, bring your needle up, then back down, and you just literally repeat this all the way around till you get to where you started. So once you get the hang of it, you can really get a few of these made in no time at all. So I'm just making sure I've got my fabric tucked in, and then I'm back to where I started. There's my knot. So all you do now is pop off the back, like so. Just slide out that piece that's inside the fabric, like so, and you're just literally going to pull your thread, meanwhile tucking in your ends. So just tuck them in, and I like just to keep my finger in, and then just pull your thread. That's why I use a good strong quilting thread, so it doesn't snap easy, because if it snaps then you have to obviously start again. So it's good to use a good strong quilting thread, and then you just pull to tighten it up so it goes like so. And then with your needle and thread, just literally come back down and just thread it through. Secure it a couple of times till you're happy that your yo-yo's not going to come apart. So just literally over a couple of times, and then finish off with a knot. And then just trim your cotton. just press it down, and there you have your fabric yo-yo, which is the same size as these ones I made. How cute are they? So it's the same principle for whichever size you use. So if you choose to go for the really big one, I think this one is the extra large size, 60mm. It's exactly the same process as this one, or as is this one. So exactly the same, and that's how simple it is. So that's how we use the yo-yo maker. Now if you wanted to make one by hand, you don't need to use this. The traditional way is you would cut out a template, because obviously you'd need a template, and keep that template for the size. So you have to decide what size you're going to be using. So that's my template, and obviously I've cut around the template, so I've got enough room so it falls in, just like the yo-yo maker. And all you do if you're going to be making them by hand without anything at all, traditional English way, is you just turn it over slightly and just secure your thread with a knot, or just go over it a couple of times. So I'm just going to go over it a couple of times just so that the end is secure. And all you do is just do a running stitch all the way around, just tucking over a little bit of fabric. Work all the way around with a little running stitch, just tucking it over, and come to the end. All I do is keep my finger in the middle there, and I just pull gently on my cotton till it gathers, and then you just over sew to secure it. So a couple of times, make a knot. Just trim your cotton, and then just push it down, and there you have your Suffolk Puff made by hand. So you don't need to use the yo-yo maker if you haven't got one. You can just do it by hand. Same thing, all you need to do is decide on what size you're going to make and do your template, and just draw around your template like I did, and just cut them out, ensure you leave your seam allowance, and then just do your running stitch around the edge and then pull, and it just makes your yo-yo. It looks exactly the same as what the yo-yo maker has made. Now I'll give you an idea of what you can actually use them into. So I've made, I think it was this size, which is 45mm, which brought out this size, and I've stitched them together to make a little mug mat for my desk. So my mug just goes on there. How pretty is that? So I've done it in a square shape, or you can sew them together and make them into like a round doily shape, which looks like this. And I've just put them all together, so it's that size. I've just stitched them all together into like a hexagon shape, and made them into placemats or doily for adding a vase of flowers on top. Make great gifts for Christmas as well, because obviously you use all your scraps up. You could make a set of 6 placemats. How lovely would that be? Or if you wanted to make something simple for maybe a work colleague, you could put them together and make your work colleague a mat for the desk. So you can make a smaller version, and you could make like a little miniature mat if you did it in maybe that size. And I'll show you quickly how to stitch them together. Just quickly show you this example here. All I've done is literally just caught on various points of the circle of the puff. So you're just literally catching 1, 2, 3. So whatever you're sewing, it just needs one section to stitch to the next. So for example, if I was going to use this 4 and maybe turn them into a little small coaster, I would just need to stitch them together at those points. So obviously I'm going to take my first 2 and put them right sides together, get my needle and thread, and all you're going to do is literally just catch both pieces of fabric and just pull your cotton through. Now you can put a knot in, or you can just over sew like I do, and you're just going to go over sew again. Just a few times. I think that should be adequate. So I'm just going to now just go over with a knot. Thread my needle through and just create a little knot. One more time just to make sure it's nice and secure. Pop my needle through and pull. It's nice and tight, and when you open it up you've got a lovely secure join. You can't hardly see the stitching at all, and that's now secure. So now if I was going to make this square shape, I would then take my next one that I was going to sew. So for example, this one is going to go next to that one, so I would flip it over so it's right side facing, and I know it needs to be stitched somewhere around about here. It's absolutely brilliant project too for maybe travelling in the car, or if you're going on the train, because you just need to take a few with you in a little bag with your needle and thread and your scissors, and you can quite easily get quite a few made that way. So I'm just going to finish off now by going over one more time and make into a little knot. Just finish off, and again just trim. So to finish it off, obviously that one needs to go there, and then just trim it off, and then just turn it over, and there you've got your Suffolk Puffs stitched together. And then obviously you just keep on going, or do whatever size you want, or whatever shape you want, into a square shape like I've got there, or you can start off in the centre and then just work your way around. And that's how you do your Suffolk Puffs. So I hope you enjoy having a go at making them, and share any pictures on Instagram with hashtag Loopy Mabel, and it'd be great to see what we're all making. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. If you did, don't forget to give me that lovely thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and you'll be kept up to date with all the videos, and it really does make my day when I get subscribers, so thank you very much. So there we go, that's how we can use our scrap fabrics up to make these gorgeous cute little Suffolk Puffs. And there is one of the examples that I shown you in the tutorial, lovely doily mat, but you could just literally keep on growing it until it's the size of your bed. It could be absolutely gorgeous thrown over your bed. So that's just an idea of what you can use it for. But please, if you have a go, please don't forget to share what you've done with your scrap fabrics. Any pictures that you do take, don't forget to share them over on Instagram and use the hashtag Loopy Mabel, and then we can all see what everybody's been up to. If you really enjoyed today's video and you like to use up your fabric stash, then why not check out my other tutorial that I did on how to make a raggy brooch. That's another way of using all your leftover fabrics, and it doesn't cost you a single penny. So please don't forget to check out that video too. But as I always say, until the next time, please take care and happy sewing.